Today I fucked up by wearing Christmas leggings after Christmas is over. I wasn't really caring what I looked like today and just had to run up the street to Tractor Supply and get dog food, and Luke wanted to go for a ride. Not having a second thought, put some leggings on that had llamas with Santa hats. About 5 minutes into my shopping trip, a local group home entered. They were doing a field trip of sorts with about 15 of their residents. One of them came over to say hello to my dog, and before he could even pet Luke, he looked at my pants and got this wide-eyed look and began to point and chant "Christmas is over." About 4 of his friends joined in, and I was surrounded by 5 people screaming and chanting "Christmas is over." The nurse came over and was trying to distract them, and it only made it worse. My dog at this point was just barking like crazy. It went on about 10 minutes before the leader just stopped and whispers "Christmas is over" and walks away. Too long, didn't read. Don't wear Christmas prints after Christmas, you don't know who you will trigger. Christmas is not over. Only about halfway-ish through. Yes. I always quietly still do Christmassy things during the historical 12 days. I wish it was still a thing. Man, what kind of group home was it? Sounds crazy. For adults that are developmentally delayed or have Down syndrome. Having worked in a home for adults with developmental disabilities, I can relate so hard to this. That's kinda creepy sounding with the chanting and the final whisper. It is even creepier than it sounds. It's not even Christmas yet by the Julian calendar. Today I fucked up by almost freezing up a mountain with my GF. So this happened yesterday. The weather looked nice out, so I wanted to go for a hike, third one this week up a local mountain, no problem for me. My GF wants to come with me. She had done okay on other hikes recently, so I thought she could handle it. Take lots of breaks, go at a slow pace, get to the top, and she tells me she can't go any farther. We still needed to get down. Start our way down the hard part near the top, get back to the easy walking and have a straight shot to a road, but it's 10 kilometers downhill or 2 kilometers down the steep way to the car. She can't walk at this point, and wouldn't let me try to carry her in the snow because it was slick. Called search and rescue, they told us 40 minutes. 2.5 hours later they had a truck to the highest point they could get it to, where we had stayed together to avoid freezing completely. GF was very sorry she didn't tell me to turn around sooner. I was sorry I brought her up, and didn't notice she was hitting the wall. Search and rescue guys and girls were very nice and gave her warm, dry clothing to borrow until we got home, drove us back to my car and texted us to make sure we got home safe. They even refused when I offered to bring them donuts back with their clothes they let my GF borrow. TLDR, hiked with my GF until she collapsed in the snow and had to call for help. I was rather confused and intrigued by the title. I thought you froze a mountain, and I was here wondering. Wait, what? Then I read the entire post and understood my mistake. It's great that everyone is safe and unharmed. Next time don't try to freeze a mountain, they have eyes too. Wakai, I'll see myself out then. Glad you guys got down safe. Good thing you had a phone signal where you were hiking. That's often not the case. Bring them donuts anyway. Gotta respect the mountains, but this can happen to anyone. Glad you are both okay, and don't let this put you guys off more hiking adventures. Wonder how you kept warm. Degrees. Well, he put his cock in her, of course. Today I fucked up by using my girlfriend's vibrator on myself while her 15-year-old son walked in, and the title make it sound so much worse now that I read it. I really should have reworded that. Okay, so this wasn't today, but this last week. A little backstory is a must in this case. So, about a year ago I underwent some major brain surgery to remove a fairly decent-sized tumor that was crushing my brainstem and causing all kinds of problems of the "it's going to kill you soon" kind. While the surgery went well, it did have some pretty nasty side effects, some of which may heal with extensive physical therapy, others which will never come back because the brainy parts that controlled them aren't there anymore. Not the point of the story though, for the most part. Now, one of the damaged and healing brainy parts that was affected was the facial nerve. If any of you guys are brainologist doctor types, Everything with the 7th and 8th cranial nerves was affected, but for the rest of us the facial nerve controls the movements of the muscles off the face, in my case, the left side. Basically leaving the left side of my face looking like a clock in a Salvador Dali painting and having no control over it. Very similar to the effects of Bell's palsy. It has been getting better over time and there has been a lot of progress, but it's still not great. Think Nancy Pelosi. Every time I see her I honestly ask myself in all seriousness if she had BP at one time. Anyway, along with muscle exercises and stimulation techniques, one of the things that I have found to be extremely helpful to keep the actual facial muscles engaged, is to apply low-level and variable intensity vibration to pressure points on the individual muscles. Without the facial nerve to stimulate them, they can atrophy and weaken, and become unresponsive. So physical manipulation is required. Direct electrostimulation also helps, but it's not something that a person should do on their own because you can fuck it up really easily. So my girlfriend has one of those Jopan G-Spot dual vibration variable speed vibrators where one end of it concentrates the pulsing vibrations, not percussion. This is very important I found, to a narrow point, presumably for clitoral stimulation. We were just joking around with it one day, her saying that I should use it on my face after being told about the benefits of vibration stimulation by my physical therapist, but damned if it didn't actually help. The facial muscles are narrow and I can target each one of them with this and I have been using it regularly ever since and my face has shown marked improvement. Now it's just pretty much routine for me to lay in bed before going to sleep and spending about 10 minutes or so just stimulating my facial muscles with my girlfriend's vibrator. I actually use it more than she does and it's usually in my bedside table. Which has led to a lot of jokes of course, but if it works, it works. Alright. So I'm laying in bed the other night, minding my business and doing whatever on my laptop, girlfriend's vibrator pressed on my face just doing my normal routine. Her 15-year-old son knocks on the door and comes in to talk to me about Pokemon or video games or school or whatever random stuff 15-year-old kids want to talk about when they don't want to go to bed. So I talk to him while continuing to use the vibrator on my face. It was such a normal thing that it didn't even register in my mind until I noticed that he was looking at me really funny with this look on his face that went from puzzled to a horrified WTF expression as realization of what he is seeing set in. I realized with my own bit of horror what he was looking at. This vibrator doesn't look like a penis or anything, but it's purple and is clearly an adult sex toy and could not be mistaken for anything else, and he was like, oh my god, that's so gross. And to make it worse, instead of downplaying it, in my shocked state I reply, no, it's not mine, it's your mom's, it's just for my face. This clarification did not make matters better. Not in the slightest. So all at once, I was able to embarrass myself, traumatize my 15-year-old stepson, and expose his mother's use and ownership of sex toys. How's that for multitasking? And no, he isn't actually traumatized, he is 15, not oblivious or naive. No harm done, it's just funny and embarrassing. Too long didn't read. Today I fucked up by carrying on a conversation with my 15-year-old stepson while using his mother's sex toy to massage my face and not realizing what he was seeing, and then telling him it was hers and not mine. Such a stimulating response, it'll probably reverberate through his head for years to come. Wow, I'm actually speechless. I can't believe this happened to you. Hopefully your stepson can laugh at this later on. And good luck with your recovery. Thanks. He laughs about it now, it's no big deal. I told him that if he ever finds himself in a similar situation that it's important to not take it too seriously, have a laugh, and above all, most importantly, be the one who uses it first. Don't think much of it. It'll be at least 25 to 30 years before he can publish his best-selling, tell-all book about how his life was ruined by seeing how his stepdad loves phallic vibrators in his face. As long as I get my cut of the profits, it's all good smile. You're right, the title does make it sound much worse. If myself was replaced with my face even it would be much better. I was thinking your butthole was involved somehow almost immediately. Today I fucked up, by inadvertently making a fellow Redditor think of my butthole. Lol. Double kill. 1. Son sees dad using vibrator. 2. Learn about parents' sex life. For number 2, sadly that ship sailed long ago. Mom, can I use your phone for a minute? Yeah. Some things cannot be unseen.